Thank you very much for the introduction. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate everybody being here, and good afternoon. Quickly want to say thank you to the Sunbelt staff, all the people involved, Commissioner Gill, first class once again, for this event today. Everything's been first class, and very grateful there. Also, I have to start with, I've gotten 3 texts from my father who's watching, who is offering helpful advice and hints on how to have a successful opening statement and or media coverage here at Sunbelt. So, Dad, I hope this is fitting your bill. He wants the players to be involved and create some laughter and some joy and some energy. So we'll do our best, okay? So that's how it starts. I'm also getting better at this. The first thing I would do after that will be that I've had the pleasure of being married to the finest woman in my life besides my mother. 20 years of marriage this summer, and a trip to Italy on the island of Capri has celebrated our 20 years, 4 kids, a dog, and many moves. So, Candy, God love you, and thank you. Next, I'll say this. To our staff and players who are right now back in Troy, Alabama, finishing up week 8 of a very, very difficult summer training program, but also a very positive one. So, shout out to everybody back home, still getting the job done. We will be home tonight to finish out week 8 of our training before we start fall camp. And a huge thanks to our staff. This staff has lost one on-field coach, and we've only really just had to deal with very minimal staff changes. We've retained a lot of our staff, and the reason is they're great men, their wives, and how we're supported from them has certainly made year 2 and the transition into year 2 much better and easier. So I'm very grateful to our staff and couldn't do it without them. So thank you. And then also our players. They've stuck by us and put us in a position now to where we feel like we love them, they love us. We know how each other goes and what it's going to take for us to get where we want to go. And we've become self-led at Troy, which allows us to stay out of it some and let them handle it. So grateful to them. And lastly, I want to just continue to give a shout out to the community of Troy, the city of Troy, Troy Nation, our fans, Chancellor Hawkins, Brent Jones, all administration that have worked in an unbelievable manner to support us through nothing but changing times since I've taken this job. What we do know as college coaches and all the men that are on the west side of this division and east, we know we are in the finest conference in Group of 5 football, and we know that change is coming and it happens every day. You better be able to manage it. So couldn't do it without great support. I'll be brief otherwise. Here's the deal. January 14th, we had our first team meeting in year 2. You don't look left, you don't look right, you don't look behind, you don't worry about what the narrative is, what our ranking is, what the problems will be or what we think will be. There's a decision to be made at Troy University and Troy football. That's that I'm the head coach, and we're on a path to better. Right, fellas? The path to better. We ain't worried about anything else. If we don't improve daily, we have no chance of playing winning football and playing to the standards of Troy University. So that's all it is. There's really no other question to answer. There's no other way to put it. My name's Jared Parker. We did a great job introducing it this year. We're already better than last. And the deal is this. It's been a constant chase of improvement. How we retain this roster, we've done very well, and how we have acquired new talent is the whole key to this thing. And I think if we just continue to stay on a path to better, it removes the pressure to our players who already have to deal with too much and allows them just to think about how they can improve daily. And then our staff is just committed to finding ways to help them improve daily. So with that being said, there's an urgency in which our building is moving. It's got to sustain that, and I've got to be the man to make sure it does. So I'm very proud with where we are, but all that is price of admission because the season is the real test. So again, thank you very much. Joining me as he was announced is Goose Crowder, our quarterback, who we are very, very happy to know that he's back and healthy. Goose has won over our locker room. Our team believes in Goose, our staff believes in Goose, and knows what his capabilities are, and we're anxious to see him do that. And then Devin Lafayette, who ran to the football and played with such a passion last year from game 1 to game 12 that led us to believe he would be a tremendous leader moving forward, and that's why these two are here. I'm honored to be their coach and glad they're here with me. So, with that, I will hush and we will take questions. Thank you very much.
We'll open the floor up for questions. Again, if you do have a question, please raise your hand and we will get a microphone to you. And please give us your name and affiliation when you do, and we'll start off back here.
Sparty Lachlan with KTSW San Marcos. This question is for you, Goose. Obviously coming off, a little bit of an injury last season. Just want to know how you're feeling, your body's feeling going into this season.
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Obviously kind of passed all the protocols and hurdles that came with it. But started out in January working out and went through a great spring ball. I mean, mentally I feel great, and I feel like I'm in great shape right now physically too. So just excited to take the field this fall with my teammates.
Got a Zoom question from Josh Boutwell of the Troy Messenger. Coach, who are some of the returning players that fans maybe haven't seen much of yet that you feel like can become contributors? And the other questions for the players.
Okay.
Coach?
Yeah, to that I would say starting on offense, Roman Mothershed, who started to add value and really send a message in the block game as a wide receiver, has had a huge offseason. Mojo Dortch the same way, Peyton Higgins the same way. At wideout position, at tight end, of course, Ethan Connor is healthy and brings something to us at the tight end position in many phases of the game, and a really a long list of 5 tight ends that we believe can play there. I'll go straight to our offensive line that we believe in Eli Russ, Matt Henry, and Prather, that all 3 have had many starts now and played a lot of football for us to where we don't have to guess who those 5 guys will be up front. So that would be them on the offensive side. Defensively, Devin's sitting here with us. Jordan Stringer, Stephen Catledge, Jamal Williams, Lewis Medina, Jamel Fields-Me, Cam Curry, Justin Poe into the boundary. Finally, a long list of names of guys that are returning defensive players that bode well for us to play championship-level defense. And Scott Taylor Renfro, Patty, Colton Walls are 3 returning specialists for us. So those will be the names of familiar names that we expect to take steps, but have also played a lot of football for us now.
And for Goose and Devin, for the 2 players, is there anyone on the offensive side for Goose that has stood out, and anyone on the defensive side for Devin that has stood out so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's a long list of guys on the offensive side of the ball that stand out daily. I think, each guy kind of has their moments and goes through phases and stuff like that. I don't think I could pick like a particular person at all. Just super proud of everybody and the work that we put in.
And on the defensive side, I feel like each position group, starting with the D-line to linebackers and DBs, have all made a great stride and getting overall better. I wouldn't give a single person. I think everybody on the unit is getting better.
Got another Zoom question. First for Coach. You have, numbers-wise, the most experienced team in the Sun Belt with 50 returning lettermen and 15 starters back. Does that make your job easier, or does it make it harder?
Well, we're ranked 6th in the West, so I'd say our job's still very difficult. And we've got a job to do that starts as soon as we report to camp, and we look forward to that challenge.
And for the players, how different is it to have a group that's experienced around you?
It's awesome. Obviously, bringing back experiences. You can never teach experience, right? You go through it together. We had shared adversity last year. We're more familiar with each other, more familiar with the staff, and we're just super excited to take it on head first this year.
Kind of piggyback off of what Goose said, with experience, you could kind of bring the younger guys, the guys that's going to be there whenever you leave, to kind of understand wherever they got to be at or what role they play on the team. So being experienced is definitely bringing a lot of leadership guys in that could definitely come and help our younger guys get better.
So this is a 2-part question. First for you, Coach. You hear a lot about, defining moments, early in careers and everything like that. Is there one specific moment or 2 last season that really you thought were defining moments?
Well, I do think an honest answer is we found our football team in the second half at Ark State against Coach Jones's football team, but lost. But then when we come back home, we knew that there was a different approach and belief in maybe putting ourselves in a better realm to play winning football. And when you come home and win a game at homecoming in front of a great homecoming crowd and finally get some affirmation through your work, because sooner or later that has to happen. You have to to see some semblance of great results at some point, which is why it's such a slippery slope. But winning that game created some momentum and different kind of belief in our work that led into the Georgia Southern game on the road to finish out the year and things. So it certainly helped, and that kind of catapulted some different belief and finding out how to play winning football.
And then for both the players, just kind of a similar question. Has there been a defining moment throughout your career that you really felt things switch, whether that's a leadership role or performance on the field or off the field?
I wouldn't say there's a defining moment for me. I think, I take each day as its own and just try and create the best version of myself. I wouldn't say there's a turning point in my life or anything like that. I think everything happens for a reason, and just take each day for what it is and take each challenge head on.
I would say my turning point kind of, I'm going to go with when I broke my leg, because honestly, that was my turning point. That's when a lot of things flipped for me. So I would basically go and say, me breaking my leg is definitely something I looked at as something positive and a negative at the time, but being now fully healthy, it ain't nothing but a positive.
Sparty Laughlin here with KTSW San Marcos. This question is for the players. Like Coach Parker said, a lot of players returning, but projected to finish 6th out of 7th in the Sun Belt West. Has that kind of fueled the fire a little bit in the offseason? And do y'all discuss that at all, or have y'all talked about that?
I mean, I believe our whole mindset was just to get better. Like last year, we was predicted, 2nd? And then we had the year we had. So in my opinion, predictions don't really matter. So basically, our head coach whole mindset this whole offseason is just get better. So we ain't really too much worried about predictions. We still focus on getting better.
Yeah, I think you got to take each day for what it is. Devin said, we were projected 2nd last year. We're projected 6th this year. But the only thing that we can control is our attitude and effort towards just getting better. That's kind of been the whole theme, is just the path to better. What can you do to better yourself 1% each day? And you'll look up down the road. You keep stacking days like that, you'll look up and you'll make leaps and bounds to the goals you want to achieve. So I think that's more important than we know what we have in the locker room, and we're excited for it. So we just got to, I guess, wait and see.
A similar question for Coach Parker from Josh Boutwell, the Troy Messenger. The 6th place pick in the Sun Belt, does it give your guys a little extra motivation heading into the year?
Well, you're aware, just as they said, and then we're all human, right? But the most important thing we can do is prepare our football team for me to do a job and set direction of our program of constant improvement, and that's all we've discussed. So regardless of where it sits now, it's where it ends, and for it to end well, we have to make a commitment with urgency to improve daily. And you can hear our guys talk about it. That's all we've discussed or worried about. I think it takes the emotion out of it, and we can still be driven in such a way.
We got another Zoom question from Sarah Sims. Coach, with this year being about improvement and the goal being to bring back the winning culture, what are the biggest focuses that you guys will be implementing in camp to make that happen?
Well, I think, to steal from a great 2 years with David Cutcliffe, I would say that we have to, on my side of things, our practice schedules and what we do daily in fall camp has to be everything we can do to simulate games. We're not going to practice mistakes. We won't move and transition throughout practice with any such things. We've got to create moments in practice for our specialists and for both sides of the football to get prepared for playing the game. Situational football, our football 101 lessons at night, everything has to happen right now. That's been a commitment from the start of January, but I just think pressing forward and doing that is going to be the key to us being prepared to play game one.
Got another Zoom question. Coach, your team started scoring a lot of points at the end of the year last year. Was that just a matter of people getting healthy, or was it a matter of things just falling into place?
Yeah, I would say health helped it, but also a commitment to knowing more about who we are. We lined up in multiple formations in 12, 13, and 14 personnel. We stuffed the football down, ran the football, set up play action and movement throws, and played a brand of football that fit who we are. To me, we didn't find that soon enough, and that's something we have to challenge to find earlier about our identity. But we played a good brand of football late and a physical brand of football, and the defense did as well. I think that was the change.
And the same question to the players. How much different did it feel the way you were playing at the end of the year?
You know, kind of like what Coach said, you know, you buy into the process so long, but at the end of the day, you know, you have to win. And, you know, seeing the first couple of wins there late in the year obviously was a huge confidence booster, and just excited to see that, and it fueled our locker room, and you could see the guys respond and feed off of it.
Yeah, just to say what Goose said, it definitely fueled our locker room. You could tell guys was practicing a lot harder because that one win definitely changed the mindset of everybody on the team.
Zoom question for Coach Parker again. Do you anticipate this season to be a running back by committee look, and who are the guys you're looking to contribute at that position this year?
Yeah, I would say too soon to tell. I would think that all of us simply just earn what they get by what they produce and do during practice to give the opportunities for us to put out on the field what we want during games. There's a long list of guys, new faces and some old faces. Very excited about the competition of the room. It's going to be a very, very open competition to see who wins the job. But you'll see 3 to 4 backs, as will everybody. That's a very physical position. We're going to be required to play 3 or 4 guys, and excited to see where that competition takes us through August.
Any other questions from the floor? Coach and our student athletes will be available